Good evening, students. Yeah, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, guys, we get started. So yes. What are the doubts you guys have? See, only those who have submitted.
Only the first one.
Sorry.
In all assignments, asking in general, in this one.
Your voice is actually breaking, Rohan.
So, am I audible?
Yeah, tell me.
So, you're asking for this assignment alone or all the three?
No, I want to do in order. I want to go in order, not like all the. I want to go from 1, 2, and then 3. Let's do one by one.
Okay, the 1 minute.
Yeah.
Can you discuss the assertion and reasoning, sir, for this?
Okay. Assertion, reasoning. What is the doubt?
So 23rd question.
23rd. So what is the answer? 1 minute. 1 minute. So what do you think is the answer? 22nd or 23rd?
23rd, sir.
23rd. Okay. The resistance offered by an inductor in a DC circuit is always a constant. Is it right? The answer is no. Why? Because I told you, what does an inductor do? Inductor opposes the rate of change of current. Right?
Yes, sir.
Right? Inductor opposes the rate of change of current, and the value of resistance across the inductor will change with respect to time. Please make a note of this. Okay. Secondly, the resistance of an inductor in steady state is 0. So that is also false. Okay. So A is false, R is also false. So you will not find this in your textbook. But to give you an extra information, what does an inductor do? Inductor will oppose the rate of change of current. Okay. And its resistance is not always constant. Okay. Its resistance is not always constant because there is a concept called as growth and decay, which is not there in your textbook. So as of now, you can just have this information in mind that it is not constant with respect to time. Similarly, the resistance of the inductor in steady state case is 0. This is also wrong.
So I have a doubt on the 21st question.
Tell me, what is the doubt? What is the doubt?
The 21st question, sir.
21st. Okay. So resistor, capacitor, and inductor are connected in series. The combination is connected across an AC source of frequency 50 Hertz. Peak current through each remains the same. So what do you think is the answer? You tell me.
Won't be the
So
same.
wait. The peak current through each remains the same. Average power delivered by the source is equal to the average power developed across the resistance. Okay. Tell me. So what do you think is the answer? See, one thing, what they're trying to say is, see, I understand what is the problem you guys are facing. So whenever it comes to the assertion reason based questions, right, you should look at assertion as a separate question and reason also as a separate question. Okay. So in assertion, what we are supposed to do is peak current through each remains the same, meaning if there is a current flowing like this, then the peak current is going to be a constant value. So it is going to be a constant. Okay. Right, peak current is always going to be a constant because it's a fixed value. See, for example, E is equal to E naught sine omega t is there. E naught is always a constant. So assertion is true. Does it make sense? Similarly, average power delivered by the source is equal to the average power developed across the resistance. So what do you mean by that? So what is the average power delivered by the source? So when will the average power delivered by the source be equal to the average power delivered across the resistance? Only when the circuit is in
Resonance.
when the circuit is in resonance condition. Just a minute. Okay. So here, if you see, it is not in resonance condition. Just a minute, guys. Okay. So since here resonance condition is not mentioned, A is true but R is false. Are you guys able to understand? Rohan, did I answer your doubt?
So if it's in resonance condition, how will they give it, sir?
In resonance
I
condition, what
suppose
we have is
AC
that they should have given. They should have given. Okay, is connected in series, and under resonance condition, what would have happened? If they ask the question like that, then it is right. But they didn't mention anything about resonance here.
Okay, sir, I understood.
Okay, so A is true, but R is false. Next.
Sir, peak current through each remains same. We can also say that it is series, so the current will remain same through across each device.
See, the current that you're trying to say in series is instantaneous current. Okay, instantaneous current, yes, it is same, but peak current remains the same, meaning its value is a constant. That is the meaning. So instantaneous current is not going to be constant. Its value is going to change with respect to time. Correct? Whereas peak current will have a constant value. Means this is the, see, for example, if I write E is equal to 5 sine omega t, this 5 is a constant.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that is the meaning. Next.
So 19.
So electric motor actually you can ignore since it's not a part of your syllabus. Next. So you can forget about it, guys. It's an electric motor, you need not take it as a part. Next. That's it, from this.
What's the answer of the 10th sum?
10th.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The current amplitude in a pure inductor in a radio receiver is to be 250 microampere. So I naught is equal to 250 into 10 power minus 6 ampere when the voltage amplitude is 3.6 volt at a frequency of 1.6 megahertz at the upper end of the AM broadcast band. Inductance needed is how much? Okay. So for you to find out the inductance, what is the formula for, so current is given, voltage is given. So is it possible for us to calculate the value of XL? Because XL is equal to, what is the formula for XL, guys?
Omega L.
Omega into L. So XL is, so omega L means L will be equal to XL divided by omega. You can ask me, why did I think about XL? Because the only parameter that can relate the current and the voltage is the resistance offered by the device. That is why it is XL. Correct? So how will you find XL in this case? So XL will be equal to V naught divided by I naught. It is 3.6 divided by 250 into 10 power minus 6. Okay. So find out the value of XL. Once you get the value of XL, substitute it here. This will be equal to that value divided by 2 pi into F. What is the frequency? 1.6 megahertz. So substitute it here. So the value of L is going to be obtained from it. Okay. That calculation part I'm leaving it to you. But conceptually, I hope you understood.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The seventh.
Seventh.
Yes.
So there is a circular ring of diameter 20 centimeter that has a resistance of, I'll do one thing, no. I'll just come in the order itself. Why to go randomly? I'll just come in the order so that you can check your notes also. First one, the work done in turning a magnet of magnetic moment M by an angle 90 degrees from meridian is n times the corresponding work done to turn it through an angle of 60 degrees. The value of n is how much? So what is the work done?
potential energy.
Cos theta.
Work done is change in potential energy. It's not potential energy. It is the change in potential energy. So when you talk about the change in potential energy, it should be mb into, or it should actually be minus mb into cos theta final minus cos theta initial. Or can I write it as mb into cos theta initial minus cos theta final? Right. So whenever you talk about meridian, right? Meridian, the value of theta is 0. So m is how much? Capital M. B is given a B is not given. So B into cos of 0 degrees minus cos of 90 degrees. Okay, this is for the work done in this case. Is n times the corresponding work done to turn it through an angle of 60 degrees. So work done in the second case is how much? MB into cos of 0 degrees minus cos of 60 degrees. Right, W1 is equal to n times W2. Now you calculate the value, you will get the answer. So cos 0 is 1, cos 90 is 0, cos 0 is 1, cos 60 is half. Okay, so cos 60 is half. Now W1 is equal to MB, W2 is equal to half into MB. So what is the value of N?
2.
W1 is equal to N times W2. Or
2, sir.
W1 divided 1 divided by half, no?
Yes, sir.
1 divided by half should be 2. Yes. Okay. Next, second case. A current is flowing in north direction along a power line. The direction of the magnetic field above it, neglecting the Earth's field, is towards. So there is a current which is flowing in the north direction along a power line. So current is flowing in this direction, south to north. The direction of the magnetic field above it, neglecting the Earth's magnetic field. So what is the answer?
East.
That's right. Apply right hand thumb rule, you'll get the answer. Right. Third one. A bar magnet of magnetic dipole moment M is placed in a magnetic field of induction B. The torque on it is. This is a direct formula. Fast.
M
It
cross
is
B.
M cross B. Fourth one. A coil of cross-sectional area 400 centimeter square having a turn of 30 is making a revolution of 1800 revolutions per minute. Okay, in a field of 1 Tesla. The peak value of the induced EMF is. What is the peak value? E naught is equal to what is E naught? How come so many of you solved the paper then? Without doubts. I just want to tell one thing. If you have done it only for my sake, it is all your loss. I have nothing to take. Okay, the whole objective is to teach you something. If you're going to open your mouth and speak, it will be of good benefit for you, or else nothing. So what is the value of E naught? What concept is applicable here?
So is it NBA omega?
That's right. Where did you get that formula from? Where did you get this NB omega from? From which derivation did we get it? It is from AC generator. Okay. So F is given. How will you find the value of omega? But here, if you observe, F is in terms of revolutions per minute. So revolutions per minute, first you need to convert it to radians per minute. Sorry, radians per second. So how will you convert it? How to convert 1800 revolutions? Tell me.
We can write omega as 2 pi f.
Okay, omega is equal to 2 pi into f. F should be in terms of revolutions per
Seconds.
second. It should be 1800 divided by 1 minute has 60. So this and this will get cancelled. 30. So it is going to be 60 pi. So take that 60 pi and substitute it here. Area is in terms of centimeter square converted to meter square. B is in terms of Tesla, so no change. N is 30. Substitute it. You will get the required answer. What is the answer?
226.
Correct. Okay. Next. The current in a self-inductance L is for 40 million range is to be increased from 1 ampere to 11 ampere in 4 milliseconds. The EMF induced in the circuit, that is the inductor during this process, is how much? So what is the value of EMF? What is the formula you guys used?
Sir, L delta I.
Delta I by delta T.
Very good. So L is how much?
40 into 10 power minus 3 seconds.
So 40 into 10 power minus 3 into delta I by delta T, that is 10 divided by 4 into 10 power minus 3. So 10 power minus 3, 10 power minus 3, this will get cancelled 10 times. So it should be 100. 100 volt will be the answer. Right. Just give me a minute. Next. So whenever a magnet is moved either towards or away from a conducting coil, an EMF is induced, the magnitude of which is independent of what? Whenever a magnet is moved either towards or away from a conducting coil, an EMF is induced, the magnitude of which is independent of. So EMF is equal to what? Minus N into d phi divided by dt. So tell me.
It's independent of the resistance.
That's right. Because current depends on resistance, EMF doesn't depend on the resistance. Had the same question been about the current induced, then the answer would have been it is dependent on everything. Okay. Seventh is what someone asked. Now tell me. A circular ring of diameter 20 centimeters, so diameter is 20 centimeter, has a resistance of 0.01 ohm. The charge that will flow through the ring if it is turned from position perpendicular to uniform magnetic field 2 Tesla to position parallel to the field is how much? What is changing here? What is changing here, guys? See, if you observe, EMF is equal to N into delta phi by delta T. Right? But can I write EMF as current divided by R? So I into R. N into delta phi by delta T. But what is the value of I? I is delta Q divided by delta T into R is equal to N into delta phi divided by delta T. So delta T and delta T will get cancelled. So what is the value of delta Q? N into delta phi divided by R. Accepted. So what is the value of capital N? Nothing. It is only a circular ring. So capital N is 1. So delta Q will be equal to delta phi divided by R. So here, why is the flux changing?
Change in angle.
It is because of the change in the angle, right? Initially, the angle was how much?
Perpendicular. 90 degrees.
See, perpendicular. When ring is perpendicular to the magnetic field, then what is the angle between the ring and the aerial vector? That is the magnetic field and the aerial
0
vector.
degrees. Sir.
It is
0
0 degrees. It is 0. Okay. Similarly, when it is turned parallel to the magnetic field, means if the coil is like this and the magnetic field lines are like this, means the number of field lines that are actually passing through the ring is 0. So what will happen here? You should write it as BA into cos of 90 degrees minus cos 0 degrees, the whole divided by R. So what is the value of B? They have given 2. So 2 into diameter is how much? So the diameter is given. So how will you find the area? It is pi into d square divided by 4 into cos 90 is 0 minus 1. The whole divided by resistance is 0.01. Okay, sorry, I had to write it here only, but I hope you have understood the concept.
Yes, sir.
Can I erase this? Did you make a note of this? You
Yes,
can
sir.
expect this kind of questions. Okay. So ensure you practice it well. Eddy currents are produced in induction furnace, speedometer, and electromagnetic waves breaks. So all of the above. Ninth one. How to do ninth one? In an LCR circuit, the capacitance is changed from C to 2C. For the resonance frequency to remain unchanged, the inductance should be changed from L to
This is a L by 2.
how did you get that?
Sir, because for resonant frequency, XL will be equal to the reactance will be equal. From that, omega L equals to 1 by omega C. So I thought like L is inversely proportional to capacitance.
Okay. So we can write L into C is equal to L dash into C dash. So initially the capacitance is L, inductance is L and the capacitance is C. Finally, the capacitance becomes 2C. So the inductance should become L divided by 2. So this is the reason L dash should be equal to L divided by 2. Okay. 10th we have completed. Right. So how to do the 11th one? In an LR circuit, L is equal to 0.4 divided by pi, R is equal to 30 ohm. If the circuit has an alternating EMF of 220 volt, 50 cycles per second frequency, the impedance and the current in the circuit will be. How to solve? So it's an LR circuit and it is connected to an alternating EMF of 220 volts. So this is the V RMS value. Okay. Now tell me, how to find the current? IRMS is equal to VRMS divided by, what should I write in the denominator?
Impedance.
Z. So what is the value of Z?
Root of R square plus.
Very good.
That's the right
Root of
side.
R square plus XL
XL
square. That omega into L the whole square. So omega, you can find it when it is 50 cycles per second. Omega will be 100 pi. Right. So 220 divided by square root of, what is R square? 30 square plus 100 pi the whole square. You calculate the value, you will get the value of IRMS. How much is the value you guys got?
Sir, 4.4 ampere.
Okay, 4.4 is right, but there are two options, B and C.
Sir, I got
So
50 ohm, 4.4 ampere.
impedance as 50 ohm. Then this should be
Yes.
50. Yes, that's right. C is right. That's right. Next one is an easy one, right? Inductance of an inductor whose reactance is 120 ohm at 80 hertz. So inductance is equal to
2.5.
XL divided by omega. XL is 120 divided by omega is 2 pi into F, that is 80. 0, 0, this will go 3 times, this will go 2 times. So 3 divided by 4 pi. Okay, it should be 0.239 Henry. This answer. Okay, next. There is a coil of self-inductance L which is connected in series with a bulb B and an AC source. The brightness of the bulb decreases when? You guys tell me. There is an example problem from NCERT. What will happen? At least check your notes and tell no. Unless you have copied it from some Google or something. If you have thought about it, you will know the answer by now. What is the answer?
Sir, when an iron rod is
This is B,
inserted in the
See, inductor is there, bulb is there. Okay. AC source is there. You have to decrease the intensity of this bulb. Okay. What will you do?
Sir, iron rod inserted in the coil.
That's right. Why? What will happen if the frequency of the AC source is decreased? When frequency is decreased, right, what will happen is the inductance will also decrease. Right? So when the inductance decreases, more amount of current will flow through the circuit. Can someone tell me why when the frequency decreases, why will the inductance decrease? Because inductance and frequency are
Directly proportional.
directly proportional. You remember that graph, XL and F, you will get a straight line like this, right? Similarly, if the number of turns is increased, we know this formula, L is equal to mu naught N A square L, right? So if the number of turns of the coil is reduced, inductance will reduce. So you should ensure that the inductance is not reducing at all. If the inductance reduces, then the current will increase. So this option is also wrong. What about D? D has no relevance. There is no capacitor at all. So A should be the right answer. When you insert an iron rod, the value of mu will become mu naught into mu r. So this value will increase. When this increases, L will increase. L increases, current will decrease. Since current is decreasing, bulb will glow with a lesser intensity. I hope you guys made a note, because this is not a direct question that might come. What if they twist it? Okay. Now tell me what is the answer for 14th. Soft iron is used as a core of the transformer. That is true. Area of hysteresis loop for soft iron is small. That is also true. Okay, I told you, right? Look at assertion as a separate question, reason as a separate question. Now you need to check if the reason is the right explanation for assertion. What will you say? Why do we use a soft iron core in the case of a core of a in the case of transformers core? It is because this reason is right. Because we don't want that material to get magnetized. The cycle of magnetization and demagnetization should be small. That is why, if you see, both A and R are true, and R is the right explanation for A. So the meaning of area of hysteresis loop is small is this area that they are trying to talk about. This is the area they are trying to talk about. Okay. 15th one. When the radius of the circular loop carrying current is doubled, its magnetic moment becomes 4 times. Is it right? Is it right or wrong?
Right, sir.
Why? What is the formula for magnetic moment? M is equal to N into I into A. When radius is doubled, area becomes 4 times. So magnetic moment will also become 4 times. So this is true. So magnetic moment depends on the area of the loop. True. Right. 16. A conducting rod is moving in a uniform magnetic field such that the length of the rod, its velocity, and magnetic field are mutually perpendicular. Then the EMF will be induced between the rods. Is it right or wrong? So there is a conducting rod and there is a uniform magnetic field, and the conducting rod is moving in the uniform magnetic field. If that is the case, will EMF get induced at the ends of this coil? Is it right or wrong? It is.
Right.
Right.
What concept is this?
Induction, electromagnetic.
Electromagnetic induction.
It's called motional EMF. Okay. As the rod moves, as stated above, free electrons in it will experience a magnetic force towards the end of the conductor. This will also happen because we know that whenever a charged particle is projected into the magnetic field, it experiences force due to whom? Like, what is the name of this force? Completed. So it is because of the Lorentz force. So this is also true. If both are true, then what can we say? Now we need to think whether the reason is the right explanation for A. Is it right or wrong? Is option A correct or B correct? This is the only place you will get stuck. A is right or B is right? (17) A piece of copper and a similar piece of stone are dropped simultaneously from a height near the Earth's surface. Both will touch the ground at the same time. Correct?
So I don't think so, sir.
Why?
Since it's copper, there'll be more attraction towards the earth.
Is it so? Any other reason?
So if they're similar size and weight, they should be reaching at the same time.
Okay. But theoretically, yes, in last year's chapter, you would have learned under free fall, right? When an object is traveling under the influence of gravity, irrespective of the size and shape of the object, right? They will be reaching the surface at the same time. But yes, it will not happen. So A is false. There is no effect of the Earth's magnetic field on the motion of the falling bodies. The reason, why they will not reach at the same time. See, last year you would have learned that the object is actually traveling only under the influence of gravity. So that was restricted to that particular motion, because near the surface of the earth, what will happen, the value of magnetic field can actually be ignored. Okay, because we don't deal with so much heights. So, but
I
actually
have a
speaking,
doubt, sir.
this tell me,
So copper will reach first, right, sir?
copper.
Since Earth will attract it faster, copper will reach first, right?
Copper is actually a diamagnetic substance. But yeah, I'm not
Compared to stone, it will reach first, right, sir?
diamagnetic substance actually repels the magnetic field. So logically, stone should reach first, because copper will develop something called as eddy current within itself. You're able to understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
See, when a metal piece is traveling under the influence of magnetic field, eddy currents are generated. Okay, due to eddy currents, and according to Lenz law, what will happen is it will experience repulsion. That's what Lenz law says, right? So logically, stone should be able to reach faster. Okay, so that is why, since we know the technical reason, we are saying it is false, but most of them contradict. So don't worry, this kind of question will not come. But I'm trying to explain the actual scenario. I'm just trying to give you an information. Think about this, because this kind of a question comes in 1 mark many times. Whenever you talk about a metal traveling under the influence of whom? Under the influence of magnetic field. Okay, the presence of magnetic field, eddy currents will get generated. See, one mistake that they did this year is they have actually removed the magnetic properties of materials. That is a diamagnetic, ferromagnetic, and paramagnetic substance. But since you guys have learned it, I suggest you to learn that concept as if it is there for exam. That is the reason why you are not able to answer about the software info also, because you would have not learned about hysteresis. You would have thought that the topic is deleted and we don't do that mistake. I told this, right? Don't do that mistake, read everything. Similarly, the reason there is no effect of Earth's magnetic field on the motion of falling bodies. Is it right or wrong?
Wrong, sir.
Yes, it is wrong. There is an effect. So A is false and R is also false. 18. At any instant, if the current through the inductor is 0, then the induced EMF may not be 0. What are they trying to say? So there is current passing through inductor, which is a varying current. Okay. At any instant, the current through the inductor is 0. The induced EMF may not be 0.
Sir, is it false?
It is true. Because you have a concept called as lagging and leading. That is the meaning. That is where the lagging or leading concept comes into picture. That would have been true for a resistor. First of all, in the resistor, you cannot talk about an induced EMF because there is no concept of flux. But if the current through the resistor is 0, then you can say that the EMF is 0 because they both are in the same phase. Okay, because why I'm talking about alternating current is because I'm just taking this instant into consideration. The answer is not right. So if there is a particular instance where the current becomes 0, the current would have become 0 from a higher value. See, there is an instant, please understand. Okay, there is a tricky question. There is, let's say, at 5th second, the magnitude of current is 0. What about the value of value of current at 4.9999 seconds? It would have been a non-zero value. Correct? So between this time and this 5 seconds, what has happened? There is a change of current taking place. When there is a change of current taking place, can I say that there is a change of flux taking place? When there is a change of flux taking place, according to Faraday's law, what should have happened? There should be an. This is the meaning of the statement. Is everyone clear with what I'm trying to say? So assertion is proven. It's not false. It is true. Okay.
Sir,
And
can you repeat the last line you said? Your voice.
Okay. This part is clear. I is equal to, so 4.99.
Yes.
Okay. So since the current is decreasing from certain value, magnetic flux is also changing between that 4.9999 seconds and 5 seconds. Okay. When flux is changing, EMF is induced. Just because at this instant 5 seconds, the value of current is 0, the induced EMF need not be 0. The induced EMF will exist. Only if this I is equal to 0 continues for a certain amount of duration, let's say it is happening for 2 more seconds, then the induced EMF will become 0.
Okay.
Okay. See, for example, if the same question is asked like this, let's say between the instants 5 seconds and 7 seconds, the value of current through the inductor is 0, then the induced EMF will be 0. That's right. Because there they are talking about average value. Here they are talking about instant. Okay. So that is true. What about the reason? An inductor tends to keep the flux constant. An inductor tends to keep the flux constant. Is that right? Means it will not allow the flux to change with respect to time. But why is flux changing? Because of current. So we know that inductor will oppose the change of current with respect to time. So is it true or false?
True.
It is true. Okay. So assertion is true, reason is true. So option A and B are there for us. That is where we will get stuck. So should I choose A or B? I know most of you will have this confusion. Listen to this carefully, okay? I told you, right, when you're dealing with assertion, reason, look at assertion as separate question, reason as separate question. So both the questions are true. But the second point that you need to concentrate to choose between the options A and B is, you need to look at the subject. So in assertion, what is the subject they're trying to speak about? They're trying to speak about induced EMF and current. Okay, they're trying to speak about the relation between induced EMF and current, where nowhere flux is involved. Right? Is there flux that is involved? Obviously. Even if it is involved, the flux constant concept is not applicable to the assertion. So what is the right option? Is it A or B?
B.
Both are right, but assertion is not the, sorry, reason is not the right explanation for B. So you need to practice more of these questions. 20th. Only a change of magnetic flux with time will maintain an induced current in the coil. See here, the word maintain is, it will exist. So just now I told you, right? So if there is a change of flux taking place with respect to time, then you can say that induced current is continuously going to exist in the circuit. Am I right? Is it true or false? Think about it.
True, sir.
That's right. It's true. So what are the reasons they are trying to say? The presence of large magnetic flux will maintain an induced current in the coil. Is it true?
Not necessarily.
Not necessary. It is false. So
Yes.
A is true, but R is false. So we don't speak about large or small magnetic flux, but what is necessary? Magnetic flux, yes, it should be changing with respect to time. Okay. So 21st we have completed. What about 22nd? Assertion. It is advantageous to transmit electric power at high voltage. So what is the answer for it?
Is true, but R is false. False.
This is false. Hmm. 23rd we have done. 24th. The quantity L by R possesses the dimension of time. Correct. See, E is equal to L into di by dt. So L will be equal to E divided by di by dt. Correct. Or I can write it as E into dt divided by dx. What is L by R? This will become E by R. So E by R is I. So I into dt divided by di. So ampere, ampere, they'll get cancelled. So what is it you're left out with? So the quantity L by R possesses the dimension of time accepted. Okay, that is true. What about reason? In order to reduce the rate of increase of current through a solenoid, we should increase the time constant. Okay, this point is not needed. You don't have the concept of time constant. Okay. So let's forget about this. Last question.
I have a doubt, sir.
Tell me.
Is there a mathematical definition for L, sir?
Mathematical definition to what?
For L, sir. So we can compare L and R.
See, mathematical definition, there are two nodes. One is n phi is equal to Li. L will be equal to n phi divided by I. This is one of the so this is the formula that we use to derive the inductance of a self-inductance of a solenoid. Right. The other formula is E is equal to L into di by dt. So you
So
have
in
to
this
use,
case, we can find R in terms of I and then substitute it. Right?
that's what I did. Because if you use for L by R, if you use n phi by t, it doesn't make sense because phi itself has a very big dimension. Okay.
Okay.
Next, 25th. Transformers are used only in alternating current sources, not in direct current. This I told many times. Yes or no? So they work on the principle of mutual induction. Mutual induction itself will happen only when there is a change of flux. Direct currents cannot generate change of flux because the area is not changing. So it is only alternating. So only AC circuit, only AC can be stepped up or stepped down by means of transformer. That is also true. So both are true. Then what do we conclude?
A.
That's right. Okay. So SI unit of pole strength, you guys find it out. What is the answer? SI unit of pole strength is ampere meter. Dash is a phenomenon of production of induced EMF in a coil when changing current passes through it. Tell me.
Electromagnetic induction.
It's called self-induction. Everything is electromagnetic induction. But read the question. Dash is a phenomenon of production of induced EMF in a coil when current passes through it. Means it is happening because of itself. So this should be self-induction, not electromagnetic induction.
Okay.
They say mutual induction, mutual inductance. Henry. The capacitive AC circuit, in a capacitive AC circuit, current dash the EMF in phase by pi by 2. Leads or lags? In a capacitor, current leads. In a step down transformer, the number of turns in the secondary coil is dash the number of, is it more or less?
More.
Is okay. You can write greater than the number of turns in the primary coil, because we know this formula ES divided by EP is equal to NS divided by NP. That's the meaning. So we have completed this assignment, right? So you guys verify your notes. If you have any doubts, reach out to me. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
So
So
I'll see you all
tomorrow we'll do second assignment.
tomorrow. We'll do.
Okay. Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.